everyone. This is our first reading lesson, and I would like you to watch this before you do the activities in your textbook. Okay, so reading strategies. We have probably learned this in level 6 and level 7 and level 8 and level 9, but reading is incredibly important to your academic life. When you go into your academic program, you will probably have to read articles that your professors give you. You will have to read textbook chapters. You will have to read your professor's notes. You will have to read documents that other students give to you in group work. You will have to read journals and articles and a whole bunch of stuff when you do research. And so reading quickly and efficiently is a really, really important academic skill. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we read quickly and efficiently? Okay, so our first strategy is called, where is my head? That's not the name of the first strategy. Okay, the first strategy is deep reading, and this is probably what you usually do. Deep reading is very slow. Usually there is a dictionary involved. And you're usually making notes. So deep reading is the kind of reading that lots of students do because students feel anxious if they can't understand every single word. So what happens is that students read really slowly. They look up every word they don't know in the dictionary. They're making notes, and this takes forever. And while it's good to deep read some things and really get to know it, you don't really have time to do this for the academic reading that you will have to do. So we will need to use some other techniques. But I'm going to say this one more time. You don't need to understand every single word to understand the general meaning of things. So I'm going to say this again. You don't need to understand every single word to get. We call it the gist. The gist. And the gist is basically the main idea. And so when you're reading something for homework, like a textbook chapter, or you're reading an article that your professor gave you, the first thing you want is the gist, the general idea. And there's 3 basic ways to do this. Okay, first is preview and predict. So the first technique you're going to use is preview. And this is, you want to look at the title. You want to look at subtitles. You want to look at pictures and graphs. Sometimes if you want, you can read the first sentence. And you're going to take all of this information, this is before you read anything, you are going to take all of this information and you are going to predict the main idea. So predict is using this information, you're going to guess what the reading is about. Especially when you are researching, this is a really important thing to do. Because when you're researching, everything you find on your topic will not be useful for you. So sometimes you can look at the preview and do the predicting, and this alone, you can be like, oh, this is not useful for me. So then you don't read anymore and you go to the next thing. When we're doing academic articles, actually, you can read the abstract. And reading the abstract is a great way of previewing. The abstract in an academic journal is a small summary of the whole journal article and the results. Usually if it's a scientific or psychological or social experiment, they'll have a abstract. So you can look at the title, look at the graphs, look at the pictures, but also read the abstract, the small summary at the top, and guess, what is this about? And the next question you need to ask this is this useful? Is this reading useful to me? If it is not useful, don't read anymore. If you do this and look at the abstract and you think, maybe this is information that is useful for my project or useful for my essay, then you're going to move on to, so number 2, move on to number 3, which is skimming. Skimming is a skill where you read very quickly, don't use a dictionary, and you're looking for the main idea. We learned some strategies in level 7 and 8 where you can read the first sentence of every paragraph and the last sentence of every paragraph, and that will generally give you like the main idea of the whole article and the main idea of each paragraph. So read first plus last sentences. And this is all to get you the main idea. So, preview first, then predict, is it useful for me? If you think it might be useful, you skim quickly. Maybe make a note of what's the main idea. Like write it down on a piece of paper or in a document on your computer, being like, this article with this name, this is the main idea, maybe it is useful. Okay, if you do this and you notice that it is useful for you, this article, then you're going to do the next stage, which is scan. And scanning is when you read quickly again, but you're looking for specific information. Oftentimes, this specific information can be statistics, numbers, names, but also facts and results. So usually when you are researching for an essay, you have a pretty specific idea of what the information is that you need for your essay to support your main points. So after you've done this and you've decided that the article is going to be useful for you, then you're going to start scanning quickly for the information you need. When you find the information you need, you should read above that information and below that information, so you're making sure that there's context. And then take that information, paraphrase it, find the APA citations, and add it into your work. So this series of skills is what will help you read things quickly and efficiently. Remember, if all you're doing is this, you're wasting your time, too much time. And you'll notice that you don't really use a dictionary for any of this. The only time I recommend using a dictionary is if you find a fact or a statistic you need to use and there's some words in there you do not understand. Check those. But everything else should be done quickly and efficiently. You need to trust that you know enough English to get the gist. Okay, that is our reading lesson for today. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.